Scrofters, we are back. We have another Protoss vs Terran series. Different players this time. We have Ronan, the Protoss, and EdJ, or EdJ, as the Terran. We are on Royal Blood. We're on Royal Blood. This map, I like this map. I've casted a lot of games on this map. It's not the only map in the tournament, guys. Please remember there are other maps. That would be fantastic. Okay, both players are building workers and building their supply first. This makes sense. Yeah? No, the double depot is not necessary. Why are you building another supply depot? You don't need two at the start of the game. Okay, gateway. This is good. Your opponent should build a barracks instead of this, but, you know, cut them some slack. They're trying their best. Here comes the barrack. It's a little late, and, you know, it could have been, like, here. I've said this before, but I do really advocate for walling off against Protoss as Terran because of adept shadings. I'm not sure that's going to happen at this level. The gas putting down at about the right time. This is good. But, I don't know about this. Another gateway? No, it's a pylon. Okay. I don't think you knew that pylon this early, my friend. I think you were probably fine. At least it isn't immediate, the double depot opening. So, you know, not as bad. Gateway, okay. 2 gates. These openings, you know, they're fine. You're setting yourself up for the future in some way, right? So I can't really be too mean about these openings. Protoss, you might want to get gas. Like, get 1 gas at the early stages of the game, just so you can actually get some of the higher tech stuff. Because without gas, what can you build? A couple buildings. Zealots. That's about it, really. The side core gonna go down. You remember the side core, that's good. I know that mustn't sound like a much, but, you know, not everyone does at this level, so good on you. You remember to do side core. This Protoss unit, what's he doing? He's building an expand! This is an early expand! Yeah! Good. Both players expanding. This is good. Very straight up play. You need to expand pretty early, and I'm glad to be seeing that both players are doing this. Too often I see games where expansions either never come or come just far too late. This is good timing. You know, you can really get your economy on the ground with this continuous worker production. If you continually produce workers without expanding, they're not going to be doing much because you're going to oversaturate. If you actually build bases when you have the money to do so, don't put a supply depot in the mineral line. What is that? Then, you know, you'll actually get an income. That's good. That's good. I like that. I'm happy to see this. What's this? Another pylon? Okay, that's fine, I guess. I mean, I think it's a bit early. But... Fill the gas, please. Another pylon. You don't need another pylon right now. Alright. What do you say during games like this, really? Like, what do you have to offer? We got Marines versus no army. Ah, that's what you say. These gateways have been idle. There's the gas. These gateways have been... Oh, look, the workers going home. These gateways have been idle. So, you know, build units out of them. You have the money. You should do it. Otherwise, your opponent will just kill you. So please build, like, a zealot or a stalker, which you'll be able to do soon. Not right now, but soon. Build zealots out of these gateways so you don't just insta-die to a marine push. That'd be nice. You need to build, ideally be building units out of your structures as soon as they finish, and be leaving them idle as little as possible. Idle production structures are just investments completely wasted. So, that's a lot of minerals here, just that isn't doing anything. When you are oversaturated, please pull your workers into gas or your expand. You're building probes, which is good. Your opponent is building SCVs, which is good. Here's something your opponent could be doing. Mr. Terran player. First of all, I'm not sure about rallying to the gas. You should probably re-rally that to, like, here. Second of all, you need an orbital command. Orbital commands get you the ability to drop mules on mineral lines, which get you lots of money. You haven't built an orbital command yet. You should have at this stage of the game, and that gets you, like, you know, big economic lead, but you haven't done it. So don't forget your orbital command. It should be one of the first things you've built. You can build an orbital command from the command center. It upgrades into it. It doesn't take very long, and you can do it as soon as you finish your first barracks. So please, in future, do that. Stop rallying more workers into this gas. That's painful. This missile turret is going to sit here. Why didn't the engineering bay go down? I missed that. None of these barracks have add-ons. Why? This forward bunker is interesting. A Reaper in production. Warp Gate in production. It's late, but it's something. You did build a Stalker. That's your only army, though. If your opponent walked across the map right now, you would have died. You'd have died because you didn't build any units. Well, you built one unit, which isn't sufficient. You're building a factory. Yeah! Now, I know I must sound so excited about this. It's just a factory. I have casted many games of Terran in this league where a factory was never built. So this is a breath of fresh air. Thank you for remembering to build tech units. Also, something I can say about how you're playing, you're spending your minerals well. And that is commendable. That is good. You are not letting your minerals or gas bank up. You're spending it on things. Your economy could use some work, because, like, you know, you need 3 SCVs too many in this gas. You put them on the minerals here. You could probably expand again, which you are. Fantastic. You know, and you're spending that money really well. I don't understand how you sent all that gas, but whatever. Maybe take another gas. Put 3 of the workers on gas here on this gas. Build some add-ons here, and build more of these tech structures. You're building Hellions. At this stage of the game, I'd rather you pull like a tank. But to do that, you need to put a tech lab on your factory, which yours currently doesn't have. Another barracks, okay. You're spending your minerals really well, EdJ. I'm liking this. You even have an upgrade, look. You have +1 inventory weapons. Now, your bunkers looks cool, but your bunker doesn't do anything if there aren't units in it. So please put your units in the bunker. No, just 4 Marines. You've got a lot of Marines here. Your opponent's building literally nothing. They're warping. Oh, they're warping in units now. Well, this is good. Now their army production's catching up with yours. So Ronan, your army production's caught up because you're using your warp dates on cooldown. But don't forget to build workers. Don't let your workers sit doing idle, and spend your money. Look at this, 3,000 minerals. You could put down and expand here. You could build more warp gates. You could build some tech structures, like, you know, a robotics facility, or Twilight Council for upgrades. You could do all sorts of different things, but with all that money. But you need to actually spend it. It's all good having a good economy. Your economy is like fun. Look at these worker counts. I'm pretty impressed with these. Like, your economy's good, just spend it on something, like your opponent is. Your opponent is spending their money, and you're not. Now, again, EdJ, you could have more money if you had an orbital command. Or you've sorted out your workers, look at that, I'm happy with that. But no, you could have more money if you had an orbital command and were dropping mules on cooldown, so there's that. You could also, you know, have won the game with this army, like several minutes ago. But you've let your opponent sort of catch up. They're still very far behind. There's the robotics facility I was talking about earlier. Would like to see them warping some more units. They probably have the ability to warp in now. The cooldown's probably over. What's this? More warp gates? I don't dislike this. Is this a wall? No. Okay, they can get through that here. Yeah, this is good. This is a great way to be able to spend your money. Another way to do it would be to put down another nexus, like here. Like, if you're floating money, you should build production facilities, and you should probably build another base. Because the fact, if you're building up loads of money, it's showing that you cannot spend that money spend it fast enough. So you could be spending it better, and to do that, you need more production facilities, and/or another base to build more workers, to get even more money later on, to keep up with the increasing amount of structures you're putting down. So you need to do these things. You've got half the package, you're putting down all these tech structures now, and with it, hopefully, you'll warp in a bunch of units of all your massive mineral bank. If you do that, I'll be pretty happy with you. As it is at home, another upgrade in production. This is a Terran ground this is infantry 1 armor. So these are going to be 1/1 Marines going into the Protoss' base. This is a substantial army supply. If the opponent doesn't warp in a bunch of things, right, okay, this is going to come slightly competitive. I think it was a bit too slow, and they're still going to lose to this push out. But, you know, you had the idea here. I'm pretty happy with this. This isn't terrible. You built nothing but stalkers, but, like, you know, that's not necessarily that bad. And you warped in stuff. I just think you should probably warp in more things once they're off cooldown. You know, you've had too much delay between warping in units. You could have warped in more And you look at all this money that you haven't spent on units that your opponent has. And so as a result of this inefficiency in your ability to build units, your opponent is probably going to kill you here. That being said, these guys doing a lot of damage. The Marines finally firing back. They are 1-1. I'd like to see them have combat shield or stim, but since you haven't put a tech lab on any of your structures, you haven't been able to research those upgrades. It's not going to matter though, because there's enough Marines here to just kill everything the Protoss has and then some. I'm probably going to see the game end here, again, because your opponent had more stuff, and more stuff beats less stuff. But you had the ability to build more stuff to defend this. You just didn't do it efficiently. Because you had all this money that you weren't spending. You could have done it, and I'm impressed with how far you got, but unfortunately, this time it wasn't enough. More things being warped into defend, but it's too late. Like, if this came before the attack, it might have been enough. In fact, it probably would have been enough. But because it's come now, when everything's already dead, it's not going to matter, and they're just going to die like the previous stuff did. You know, if it's all attacking together, that's good. If you're being attacked, you don't have enough supply yet, but you have things in production, stall it for as long as you can until you have enough stuff, once it's all finished producing. But your opponent, you haven't done this, so the Terran player is just going to win the game here. It's taking them a little bit, and they are now banking up a bunch of minerals, because they're earning more money than they can spend, and they're not building out of their production facilities, probably because they're too busy focusing on the army. But like throughout the rest of the game, they were spending their minerals very well, and as a result, they were able to build more things than you were, and they killed you. So, you know what? You did a good job. You did good. You know, you could definitely get the hang of this. It's just you need to build more stuff effectively. You need to actually build units of your production structures and spend your money more efficiently. EdJ spending their money, well, not now, but before, very well. Tapping out here is the right call. The Terran player wins very decidedly. It's 1-0. GG.